Hi everyone, this is Jacqueline T.D. Huynh and welcome to my what is it? I'm forgetting, there's so many days. I think it's my 22nd day, right? No, 23rd day. Wow, so fast. I'm more than 2/3 of the way out. So this is my 23rd day of my Facebook Live. And we've gone through a lot of things, giving a lot of tips on how to better your relationship with your children, what to do, what not to do. And so today I have something that's just about you, the parents. Right, so for all of those of you who are just joining now and have not been following me, I am the owner of Integrative Minds. It's a leadership development company where I help people become the leader, the parent leader that they want to be. So I think setting boundaries is the one thing that is really hard as parents, and even as adults. You know, when I think about a child, the first word they seem to say is no, right? Everything is, whatever question is before you even leaves your mouth, they're like, no, no. And then somehow when we get to be adults, we say yes to everything. I mean, I know I used to be like this, where, someone would ask me, can you help me move? Yes. And then I would just stew in it, like, I really don't want to do that. Can you pick me up at the airport? And I would just say yes, because I just feel bad about saying it. Steve Jobs said, this is a great quote, actually. He says, I'm as proud of what we don't do as I am of what we do. So it's been said that one of the secrets to the late, great Steve Jobs' success was that he was able to say no to thousands of things. So highly productive and satisfied people say no to non-essential projects, tasks, requests, even probably opportunities, and they say it well. So one of the reasons that I found many of us are overwhelmed and overstressed is because we just can't bring ourselves to say no to people. When in actuality, did you know that no is actually a complete sentence? No, that's it. So no, saying no is, I know, it is very hard for many of us, because I think guilt comes into play somewhere in there. Whether the guilt has its foundation in religion, or maybe a proper upbringing that you had, or just a worldview that simply saying that if you say no, it's not nice. It's not nice to say no. So I think we often recognize that making a decision let me say that again. We often make it, and we make decisions we'd rather not be making based upon that view, that it's not nice to say no. When in actuality, we know that we rather say no to a lot of these things because it leaves us feeling guilty, which ends up really is stressful for us on our body in the long run, right? And I know as moms, this is one thing we need to do, is create that boundary. And hi, Galette. We talked about this too. And it's important for us to honor ourselves and to love ourselves, that we come first. We love our children and we want to do everything for them, but we have to take care of ourselves first. And in doing that, we have to be able to say no. It's part of our self-care. And when you say no, remember also the power of the nonverbal communication, right? Because only 7% of communication is really in the words. Because you can say, well, no, and it doesn't sound very firm. 38% of communication is in the tone, while a whopping 55% of communication is in your body language, your physiology. So look at the person in the eye when you say no. shake your head at the same time as you're saying it. Stand up really tall, use a firm voice in your tone, and just say no. Now, here's one thing too. I don't feel anybody should be pressured into giving an immediate answer. Even if the delay is maybe just a couple of minutes. It's going to give you time to think about what you really want to do and gather your thoughts. Now, I actually just learned this lesson probably in the last 3 or 4 years from my daughter. She had a few friends that, always want to play with her. And there was one friend who in particular really always wanted a play date. And the mom would call me a lot. And I always felt guilty because they were always reaching out. And I went to my daughter and I said, honey, we got to make this play date because they keep calling. And she looked at me like just a blank stare. And I said, so when do you want to, play with your friend? And she just looked at me and stared and said, I'll think about it, and just walked away. And I learned such a big lesson from her that just take time to think about the answer. It doesn't have to be given right there. I learned right there that it was my guilt that somebody was calling. It had nothing to do with the actual play date. And so it was about me. And so since then, I have used a lot of, instead of saying no, I've said, let me get back with you. Let me check about a babysitter. It's always a perfect one for parents, just so you know. I'm sure you used it. Let me check my calendar. And I think the added, let me get back with you in 5 minutes, in an hour, tomorrow. Something, at least that will give that person that you care about them, if you do. So with the right wording, the right choice, and the right tone, your no can actually be far more kinder, more helpful, and better for your body, mind, and soul than a resentfully laced yes. Hi, Amanda. There's my coach, Amanda. So here are some ways to say no in different situations. If you're at work or you're with a client, you can say, I'm currently working on this project or report. How would you like me to prioritize this new report? You can say, I'm all booked up until this certain date. I can put this on my list for then if you like. Like I said earlier, I'll check to see if I can get a babysitter. Let me think about it. Let me check my calendar. I'm afraid I'm not the right person for it right now. Or just simply, I'm really not interested. If simple. So try these things and see how it works. This is starting to set your boundary, showing people that you care about yourself and kind of filling your tank of self-love so that you can give to your children and to your spouse. And it's just as simple, I'm not interested right now. No, thank you, if you want to do it that way. Okay, so I hope that you got something good today, and I really, really appreciate you taking your time to listen, and please tune in tomorrow if you have not. Amanda said, great idea, very true, good job. Thanks, Amanda. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I've had some great ones, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thank you.